First off, I'd like to congratulate the Denver Broncos general manager Brian Ludwig on the first round playoff win. It was a hard fought battle against a very competitive, good team. They pulled out the victory. That's a very good team they have there. Wishing them all the best in the second round of playoffs against the New England Patriots. Next off, obviously disappointing season. You know, when you start out, you always have championship aspirations, and that was our goal, especially after last season's outcome where heartbreaking loss in the championship game. We wanted to come back. We wanted to win that. But unfortunately, things don't always go your way, and that didn't happen this year. And with that, obviously, you know, sometimes you have to make changes. You have to look at the off-season scope, see what happens. And part of that is the move that just became official today. Well, Carolina Panthers have traded Julio Jones, Doug Martin, and Dion Lewis to the San Francisco 49ers for the first overall pick, sixth overall pick, 2018 first, and running back Derrick Henry. With that trade, it is very difficult to move an elite player like Julio Jones and a very good young running back like Doug Martin. But in the situation we're in, we're examining what our options were, our depth, our weaknesses, our strengths, and where we were draft pick-wise and for the future. And while we do love Julio Jones, this is a guy who, I mean, we missed him in the playoffs with the turf toe injury. There's been some hamstring stuff, some foot stuff. And, you know, it's very tough to move a guy like that with all the talent he has. We decided that, you know, the timing was right and the deal was right. And that's a special thing this offseason is, you know, all pieces, it all depends if the deal's right. The deal with Julio Jones and Doug Martin, the deal was right. Now we have the first overall pick, sixth overall pick, a great young running back we really like in Derrick Henry, and a first round pick next year. And that really gives us a lot of young incoming talent to work with. It gives us trade assets to make more moves. So that is something we're excited about. You know, looking at this season, you can blame injuries. I mean, losing A.J. Green hurt, losing Rob Gronkowski hurt, Adrian Peterson hurt. Those are all big blows. We had plenty of depth, but, you know, at the end it kind of hurt us. And we just didn't execute. And, you know, we had guys fall short, and, you know, that's something where it'll be a challenge for us next year to see who steps up, what guys are able to take that step up and bounce back from a disappointing year, from a disappointing finish. And so that'll be a big test, and hopefully we have the guys that are ready to go out and win a championship next year and turn things around. I mean, it'll also, some changes obviously said will be made on the trade market, but that'll be something that comes during the off season. We'll see what unfolds. And, you know, just again, we are really proud of these guys, the team, this effort they put in. A lot of guys who care about winning, care about what they do, and, you know, just have this finish. It's disappointing for everybody. But we'll see what this team's made of, how they respond next year, whether, you know, we kind of fall aside and, you know, lose it, or if we keep fighting and contend for a championship again and hopefully win one. So, you know, that's as simple as it can get right now. Again, best of luck to the Denver Broncos, Jim, Brian Ludwig. And yeah, with that, I'll take your questions. And the first one comes from Houston Chronicles, Chris Montgomery. And they're, of course, wondering, what have we locked into the number one pick yet? And it's well known throughout the league who our number one player on our board is. And that's Florida State running back Dalvin Cook. We could get into why we like him a lot, but there also is some very good talent in this draft. Very, very good talent in this draft. That's why you see the Houston Oilers trading for a lot of first-round picks. That's why we went to acquire the 2 first-round picks. And just, this is a very deep, talented draft from top to bottom. And so while we do have the number one player on our board, one thing we've learned, especially from the season, is situation is key. Todd Gurley, so the player we'll get into later, was in a very poor situation. Elite talent, but poor situation didn't translate to great fantasy success. Same thing with Allen Robinson, so it's all situation-based. And so that'll be something where we'll evaluate in the coming months which players are landing in the best situation so they can be in the best situation to succeed for our team. So while we do have no one player on our board, things can change based on where players land in the NFL draft and where we end up taking them because they're fortunate situations. There also is, of course, from the Houston Chronicle, a tanking thing. This was resolved, fortunately, and first we'll say that we're tired of the tanking thing. We're ready for it to be over. We understand the arguments against tanking that, it can really hurt playoff teams, it kind of throws things, it kind of throws the standings sometimes in matchups. But also, this is a real life thing. NFL teams do it. MLB teams do it. Chicago White Sox traded all their top players. They're just completely tearing it apart. They're not going to be competitive. They're going to be easy for opponents next year. But it's all about that long-term moves, and I think that's what teams are doing. If you're getting into matchup-based things where, you have guys sitting more top players for really bottom-tier players, you really would like to see those guys just, put your best lineup forward. Your team's not that strong anyway, so you might as well just put your top guys forward and it won't impact things. But again, it's just how you enforce tanking is also difficult because, some weeks there may be a top guy you're not playing because he's facing an elite cornerback who may shut him down, but you have a lesser tier guy who has a really great matchup, so you play him. So it's really tough to manage those things, and it's why really we're just tanking we'll accept, but we want accountability and we want people to own it. We wish people would, play their best lineup, and we would ask them to try and play their best lineup. But at the very least, we want them to own it, and then at that point, all right, it happens, and that's where we're at. So I don't know if that answers the question or what people are looking for, but that's just Carolina Panthers thoughts, and yeah. And from the Oakland Tribune, obviously, Tripp, lots of questions. Season served as somewhat of a microcosm of Cam Newton's career. He flashed brilliance, but lacks consistency. Is he still the Panthers' starting quarterback? And this gets into tape study with Cam Newton. One issue, first off, to deny that he had struggles this year would be wrong. There are games he didn't complete 50% of passes. That's not acceptable, but he'd tell you that. And so that's something where we think we will see improvement next year. But a bigger issue is, again, this goes back to situational football and teams. Carolina Panthers, the Carolina Panthers of the NFL, they have not put a good weapon base around him. Kelvin Benjamin looks more like a low-tier wide receiver 2 in the NFL. Consistency is an issue. Effort is an extreme issue, and his ability to not run clean routes. You hope next year, a full year removed from the torn ACL, he can be even better. So that's something we're hoping for. Greg Olsen's a very, very nice weapon to have. With that offensive line, and this is a big thing we saw with Cam Newton's issues this season, is originally Carolina Panthers didn't have a very good offensive line. It was kind of a weak spot. Then they lost their starting left tackle, their starting center, and they had to move their starting right tackle to left tackle, and it created a giant mess early in the season, and it went to shit. So we're hoping, and we really think next year Carolina Panthers spend more time investing in that offense, and it'll lead to a much more productive Cam Newton, where he can be a top 5 fantasy quarterback on a more weekly basis. Doesn't mean he'll be QB1 every week like he was last season. We believe top 5, top 7 fantasy quarterback, and that's absolutely something we'll take, especially because of his rushing ability to turn in big games. And yes, he is going to be our quarterback next season. As for the quarterback thing, because there was some talk about if Carolina Panthers will take a quarterback, we will be taking a quarterback this year. That's as flat as we'll say we will be taking quarterback this year. And also, obviously, Oakland Tribune had more questions. Was 2015 a fluke year? Do you still see Allen Robinson as the top wide receiver in the NFL? And this is when Allen Robinson, again, we're getting situational thing. Allen Robinson, we saw Blake Bortles take a step up, or what we saw as a step up in 2015. As a result, Allen Robinson put up big numbers. Then come this year, Bortles, if you believe the reports, he kind of just effed his mechanics and just kind of winged it, and he's been one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. His throws are way off. The targets that Robinson's usually getting, which would be on target, are way short or way over, and it's just... But also, and because the Jaguars struggles, their ineptitude and the losing and, some of the poor throws, it's gotten to Robinson's head. And, he's given up on plays. He's not going as hard. he's not fighting as much for some of the balls, and that's something where, with Jacksonville likely replacing their coach, new coaching staff, new scheme, new energy, we see that give life to Robinson where he could be returned to a wide receiver one next season. It is kind of situation based. We'll see what happens. But in terms of pure talent, Carolina Panthers absolutely still see Allen Robinson as a wide receiver one in fantasy. So I don't know if that's how we see. Obviously, it could be us, overrating, but that's just how we see talent wise. Is that what Allen Robinson is? And last question from the Oakland Tribune: you have 2 of the first 6 picks in 27 directly draft. Who are you looking at with 2 high picks? Will you consider a rebuild? I think we got in part of this and just how deep the draft is and why. It's all going to be situation based. Rebuild. I think few teams will ever say they're on a rebuild. Teams are evaluating, constantly finding out what the best option is for them. Even with the picks we have 1 and 6, we still have Derrick Henry, who we love. We still have Cam Newton, Todd Gurley, Lamar Miller, Spencer Ware, AJ Green. It's just, there's a lot of talent there we still like. Robert Gronkowski back from IR next year, who we hope can contribute, be a tight end 1. So in terms of rebuild, anything could happen. Maybe more great offers come along for AJ Green and Lamar Miller and all that, and all of a sudden we have all these picks or something. But really, right now we're still happy with where we are. We still want to win championships next year and the year after. So the term rebuild, I don't know. It's not. This is all what we made of it. We have 2 first-round picks. We're going to do what we can with them, and hopefully we can turn this into a championship team and win it next year. So that's as simple as it can get. Of course, Mr. Tribune, Kyle Donner. Some say the management team is concerned with some of the players' attitudes on their team. Will this be addressed internally, and will these players be dealt over the offseason? So, as you saw, there were some. We do love these players on our team, but obviously there were some frustrations this season. When you have Gronk on the IR of all places, punched Dontrell Inman for no reason. That was kind of weird. We cut Inman, by the way, but that he was already going to be cut. That was just, we had to pay him a little extra. With attitudes, I think you just all saw a lot of disappointment, heartbreak, and just a lot of dreams that died this year. And so we'll come back and it'll be this offseason to evaluate, talk to the guys, find out what their long-term goals are, and find out what we can do. Because we know a lot of these guys want to win championship. We believe we can win a championship. If there's guys who aren't committed, then yeah, we'll ship them off. And that's something we'll find out. If this isn't the right place for them, if they're just not fitting in, then when the time comes, we will, explore trade options for them to find the best home for them. But we believe a lot of these guys do want to compete, and we want to compete with them and win a championship. What's the status of the new are the Panthers making progress? Is there talk of potential move in years to come? There's always talks with Carolina about staying here and building a stadium. There's been talks with Green Bay. There's been talks with several other cities, but right now it's Carolina. We like it as our home. Obviously, we moved from Seattle, and Seattle's a great place. So, stadium talks right now are slow, but there is progress. So it'll be something we have to watch unfold as the offseason goes on. And yeah, we do. Again, we just want to say we do love Carolina, the fan base, and everything. And so yeah. And also, last question, what were the highs and lows of your season? There were plenty of highs. Julio Jones' 300-yard game where he just went off was just insane. Seeing Lamar Miller turn in some of those big games against the Colts. Some of the moments we had, Spencer Ware, all that, just plenty of highs. Just being able to make the playoffs was great. The lows, the ones that stand out, losing Adrian Peterson, losing Rob Gronkowski, and then that matchup against the LA Rams where we lost AJ Green and then lost by 0.5 points because of a yard deduction on Lamar Miller. it's those close losses that you'll always remember, and that one definitely was the low point for us this year. But it's something we hope to build on and just learn from. So, you can get down for a little bit, but really it's just you need to use it all to get yourself better and be a better team next year. So that's what we're really hoping we can do. We are excited again, and, as the offseason unfolds, we think there'll be more moves to come. The one thing we will say as we wrap this up is that the Carolina Panthers have had a very much open door policy on stuff this year, and the big change is that you will see us become more Patriots-like, probably. New England Patriots, Bill Belichick-like, probably, with keeping things more in-house. Doesn't mean we're going to stop being active on the trade front, but we will get more quiet in terms of the rumor mill and just add some mystery and intrigue and shake things up a bit. And as for the Todd Gurley trade rumors, man, you guys come up with some wild stuff. And with that, have a good day.